Okay, it is time to restore two more tractors. So this is a 68 Super 12. That's in, pretty good shape other than paint, and it's missing the fenders and seat. And a 67 Super 12 that is in halfway decent shape. But I'm going to start off with the first one, and then I'll talk about that one. This one has a unknown horsepower. Briggs engine just sitting in it. It's not the engine that's going to get used on it. But the nice thing on this, it has a battery tray off of an ST16. So you can see how the clutch is mounted there. It's mounted to the top. Has a grill corner, which is nice. Headlights. I'm going to have to get decals for the side of the hoods because them are missing and I can't make the decals that long. This is the hood off that Super 12 Hydro. You could just barely read it there. And then I guess on this side you can read Super 12 Hydro. Basically the plan is with this one is going to get all restored back to original. And then basically the same thing for this one. Except this one started off as an ST16. So it is going to just get restored as a Super 12. It'll get all the old parts, of course, put back on it. And just to prove that it was an ST16, you can see there's some yellow fading through the paint right there. So it was yellow and then it was just kind of painted over bad. The dash is broken. I have a replacement one right here for it. On a really nice steering wheel that I repaired. So these steering wheels are known to always bust and break apart. So this one, it was actually cracked all over in the middle. And I got like a two-part epoxy, and I used like half the tube, and I just put all kinds of it in there, went all through the cracks, sealed it up good. So the whole top here got a nice coating of it, so that should last a very long time. So I'm going to just pull the engine out of this one and the hood off of it, and then I'm going to set the camera up so you guys get to watch me take it apart. So what you just saw there was me pulling the tires off and getting the clutch pedal and everything ready to come out. I got all the Mordec hangers off, most of the bolts here. So these clutch rods can kind of be a pain when you go to split one of these in half. So there's two ways to do it. There's an easy way and then there's a hard way. The hard way is to soak this whole rod in penetrating oil and then to pound these off, which can be hard because this rod gets all full of rust and you're trying to pound them through the rust. The easy way is what was already done on here before, is somebody took a grinder and just cut a slot in there. So now you can hammer something in there and spread it open a little bit, and then you can hammer them right off. Somebody did that on both of them. And something else I noticed is that the whole front frame on this is yellow too. So that probably came off the same like ST12 or ST16 that battery tray there did. The rest of this tractor is all original, except for basically the front frame and the battery tray. And I think I remember that when I got this tractor, somebody actually busted part of the frame off. So that means that I probably did this, and I probably did the clutch too. But anyway, I will put the camera back on the tripod, and you'll see more of it getting tore apart. And just like that, like 2 minutes later, I got the clutch pedal out because them two parts I was just telling you about, being that they were cut like that, it basically they slid right off. Alright, so as you saw by that, I got the whole frame and everything split in half. Basically all I have left to do is pull the dash steering wheel off, take the pulley adjustment on the side so I can get that other side frame, and pull the transmission. So for those of you that's never pulled a transmission out of one of these, it's pretty simple. Basically you take these two bolts here out, and then there is this bolt here that you can basically reach around on the other side, get a wrench to that one. And then this one here is a little tricky to get to. But what I recommend doing is loosening up the transmission or the hitch plate from the main frame, and leave the hitch plate attached to the transmission. Pry up on here so you can fit a wrench under there to the other side of that bolt. And then that way you can get to that bolt and basically pull your transmission off. Then you can take the hitch plate off of the transmission, you can paint everything, and basically reverse it to put it back together. Okay, so I got, of course, that tractor you just saw me taking apart, tore all apart. Something I did off camera was I cut the steering wheel off, which I'll just show you again, because just in case you haven't saw my last video where I talked about this, I'll show you again. So the steering wheel is on the tractor. What you do is you take a reciprocating saw and you just carefully cut the steering wheel. Try to do it right where the keyway is, because that's the best spot. And then basically hammer either like a screwdriver you don't care about, a flathead screwdriver, or a flat punch in there, and I guarantee you will get your steering wheel off. The only thing is that you're going to have to live with that little cut right there. But I mean, to me that's not a big deal, especially a steering wheel like this that's, you know, got that piece broken off. I mean, it's broken over here. It's not a perfect steering wheel anyway. And by the time you put your steering cap on there, you pretty much don't see it. And if you want, you could probably fill that in with either Bondo or like two-part epoxy or something. You could probably fill that back in. And then what I always do is I take the steering shaft and I just basically just sand the end, or this I ground down slightly on the bench grinder. So now you put the steering shaft in there, it slides right in now. So then any other time, once the tractor is put together, you want to take the steering wheel off, you can take it off. So I did that. I took the front axle out of the front frame, and I realized something kind of funny is that this had a homemade tie rod in, or actually a whole tie rod. It's just a piece of, I don't even know, like 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch square metal rod where they bolt on each side. So something I must have rigged up a while ago. I guess I've done it on them customs that I just did, so I guess it works. Next thing to do is I'm going to tear the Super 12 apart. I'm not going to get it on camera because I just did the other one. But I just did some looking, and it turns out this was a 75 ST12. So my forklift is 75 ST16, and this would be the matching ST12. So this was a tractor I paid like 35 bucks for back in the day. You can't find any deals like that anymore. And the reason you know it's for sure a 75 is it has the splined axles, and 76 it has the thinner frame, and the frame kind of comes back and then goes straight up. It doesn't curve around like that. And they also had the floorboards that came up, and these are the original floorboards. So anyway, I will come back once as I get this one tore apart, and I have a huge mess all the way through here. Alright, so I got the second Super 12 taken apart, the 67. So now I have this huge mess of all these parts everywhere. So definitely the 67 was that ST12, because you can now see the yellow, because I never took the frame apart before until now. And you can also see where the steering column was extended slightly. On this one, you can see that it's slightly higher than the one next to it. Otherwise, frames are basically the same. Other than, since this is a 75, it has the hole right there for the fuel tank. And it also has these 4 holes there that mount the fuel tank on it. And that one there, the 68, does not have that. Otherwise, they're the same frame, so everything else will line up and basically be like, never know that it was anything different. And one nice thing that I do like about them newer frames is if you see this shifter hole size, actually, I mean, you can see the shifter hole on this one's much smaller than this one. So if you have a problem with the shifter or want to change your transmission fluid, you can easily just take the shifter completely out of here and just pour the oil directly down in the shifter. And this one you can't, you got to pull the whole transmission out if you want to take the shifter out, or you could just pour your oil in right where it's supposed to go. That's just something that I've learned, that you can just pop that shifter out on the ones that have the bigger hole, and you can just pour your oil in through there and it goes much faster. But I'm going to get this huge mess here put onto pallets and figure out what exactly is going to get used on them, what parts are extra, and come back once it's organized. Okay, so I got the big mess cleaned up for the most part. All organized on pallets. So this pallet here, of course, tires, hoods. I made some side covers for both tractors, so they now have a nice side cover. This transmission here with the huge brake shaft sticking up, that's the one with the splined axles. That one I have an ST16 that's supposed to have that transmission with the spline axles, but it has this style with the keyed hubs. So I'm going to swap the two over, so then that way both tractors will have the right transmission in it. And then over here, I may end up switching out this, the Super 12 dash for another one, because this one is somewhat decent and I feel bad ruining that the wood grain dash decal. So that might get used on another project. If I have another dash, I'll have to go look. Otherwise, that is about it there. Most of the parts I found, or I had to find another set of Mordeck brackets. I have a huge pile of them for some reason. So that way it has the right brackets on it for what year the tractor is. So I will come back when I get some more progress on this stuff. Okay, so I wire wheeled everything. Well, I guess most of the stuff that actually needed it. So the dash for the 68, I didn't do anything with that. I'll just get sanded down because that's pretty nice already. The rims, them are going to be another day. This really nice Super 12 hood here, that'll just get lightly sanded and then repainted, because I painted that a few years ago in a rattle can. And even though it still looks really nice, it won't match with the automotive paint. It'll look different than the rest. The rest of the stuff here just gets cleaned up that's on that pallet. So yeah, all this stuff here got wire wheeled. This blue frame I didn't do the greatest on, because it's actually better to leave paint that's already on there, because it kind of acts as like a primer if it's already the same color as what's going over it. And since that's same color that it's getting, it'll just stay on there. But yeah, that's a pile of parts I need to take out and pressure wash and clean up. And then this is that Hydrotrack Super 12 Hydro hood. Still have to take these side inserts out, otherwise that one's ready. Wire wheeled both grills. The one grill is broken on the bottom, and then someone fixed it. And then it has that same kind of issue going on the top. Then the other grill is absolutely mint, perfect. Fenders have some like bends and dents and stuff in them that I need to hammer out. It's not a big deal. I'll set that there. This dash here had some weird like markings and symbols engraved in it, so it took me a long time to get that out. This whole area here was full of them, all kinds of stuff, because this came off of a 67 Suburban 10, and I'll actually put a picture of it right here. When I got it, it had all kinds of weird stickers all over the hood. I couldn't read exactly what it said, but yeah, I had all kinds of weird, I'm not going to say what it is, but it was actually engraved on the dash, like deep into the aluminum, and I had to take the wire wheel and basically grind part of the dash away so that it's gone. So basically I did that. So yeah, I will get this stuff cleaned up. This might be it for this video, because the next video I'll probably have everything getting ready for paint, or painted already. So yeah, thanks for watching.